covering all 4 major sports in the District of Champions. It's the DC Crossover Podcast with your hosts, Mike Cerrone and Ben Simpson.
Hello and welcome to episode 160 of the DC Crossover. I am Ben Simpson. That is Mike Cerrone. Glad to be back with you all. I had a little sick day last week. Still, I mean, Mike and I feel like we're both just getting hit by colds left and right. I'll try not to cough into the microphone too much tonight.
We'll give you a pass. We'll give you a pass.
Yeah. It's just one of those ones where it's just like, nothing else is really wrong with me too much, but it's just this darn cough, and like it will hit you like right around when you're trying to go to bed. You'll start hacking up a lung, and then like it's just the worst. It's just the worst. But regardless, we're here. Follow the show on Twitter at the DC Crossover, and that's around 16, and the TikTok DC Crossover podcast. There, a lot to get into tonight on the program. Of course, we'll be talking Commanders. Just garbage loss to the Giants. I'm telling you, my 7-10 prediction is looking better and better every day, judging on games like that. And then we will touch on, of course, on Survivor. And then, we've also got our picks and all that good stuff. So plenty to get to tonight. Also, the NBA season kicks off tomorrow night. I don't think the Wizards play till Wednesday.
That's when the big slate of games is going on.
Right. So it's exciting. I mean, college basketball is a couple weeks away as well. I mean, this is the nice time of year where it's like, all right, weather's getting colder, so there's less of a reason for you to be like out and about in the evenings. Now you bundle up, you stay at home, you watch NBA, college basketball, you got hockey, you got obviously football a bunch of times a week as well. I mean, this is a great time of year for the homebodies. This is prime time to be loading up on the pizza and the beer and whatever, and having the games on the TV and not moving for hours. That is the best time of year.
Well, I think the best time of year, getting older is, and the funny thing is, I think my body's just like breaking down, and I think my body thinks I'm like Al Michaels or something, where I'm like dragging my butt into the booth.
Right.
Like every day, I'm feeling like lazier and lazier. Now I know I need to, and I have been looking the last like week or so into gyms.
Okay.
Now, right now, I am leaning into LA Fitness.
Ooh, fancy.
Because Planet Fitness is just it's out of the way now, and I'm not the type of person anymore to have to drive 20 minutes.
Yeah, it has to be a gym that's like within a 15-minute drive, I think, is like the cutoff.
So my thing is, I looked at World Gate, but they're like $120 for 2 people. I was like, I'm not doing all that. And then I was like, and that's really close. And then all of a sudden I looked at Gold's, because they have one in Clock Tower, but they just closed it. And what they also were doing is that they opened a brand new one, or opening a brand new one, right by Reston National.
Okay.
But the biggest thing that I'm looking into is I want one that has a pool. I want a pool.
Do a little laps, a little Michael Phelps action.
So here's my new spiel is I want to go to the gym.
Yeah.
And LA Fitness, as you know, as a Herndon guy, LA Fitness is over by Duck Donuts and that kind of little area right there.
It's a dangerous spot.
Yeah, well,
to be having a donut shop right by your gym.
Well, that's true. That is true. But
that's what I meant. Not like dangerous as in like you're going to get shot going to the gym. That's not what I meant.
Well, I took it that way the first part. Yeah, whatever. It comes with the territory. But then I was looking at that one, and of course their website's down, so it's like you can't get anything. I'm like, okay, sweet, and it's been down for like 5 days.
Right.
So I was looking at that one, and if it's like $30 or $40, all right, I'll shell that out,
reasonable.
Because that will also give me the motivation that I was like, I got to get my money's worth and
right.
go.
Yeah, if you're paying that and you're going to the gym, you're getting your money's worth. If you're paying that and you're not going to the gym, then you're just throwing money away. Exactly.
Right.
Which is what they count on. They kind of count on you not going.
Oh,
They're like, this guy's not going.
Yeah, it's like I'm not going to go to like a Lifetime or anything like that, because those are so expensive to the point where it's like it's not even worth it.
Right.
Also, Lifetime is there for like kids and stuff because they got like slides and all that kind of crap.
Right.
But anyways, my goal was to get a Planet, or I can't even talk.
LA Fitness?
Which one is it? LA Fitness.
Yeah.
An LA Fitness one go and go on the treadmill for just a little bit, and then lift some weights, and then go and swim like 15, 20 laps.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
And do that, and then chill in the jacuzzi for a little
Yeah.
bit, and then get up and leave. And then it's only, you go down where you used to work, your old office, or if it's, I guess, your current office or whatever, but
I
you
just
don't work
never
there
go
anymore.
in. Yeah.
If I went there, then it's only what, a 5 to 10 minute drive, if
Oh
that.
yeah, okay, yeah, I know the exact one across from like where the Target and stuff is.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So it's right over there, and basically I was saying, hey, that's not a bad spot to go. It's I'll if I pay the money, if I go 3 times a week, it's worth the money.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
but I plan on going at least 4 times a week. But I need to do that, and because I was looking up like swimming against, because I can't, with my knees, I can't do the treadmill bit anymore, and I haven't been able to do that for a while. And that's the thing is, the low impact stuff. I could get my heart racing with some cardio doing swimming, and I wouldn't mind doing that because I could go at certain times where it's not going to be busy or whatever.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about being shirtless in front of like the people that go swimming. If you're talking about going like early, the people that are
not early.
oh, so you're talking about like evenings time.
Yeah, I was like that, or right after work or something like that. Something
Okay.
that, whatever it is. Because I mean, I think that
You're gonna have to
would be
scout it out because I don't know what the clientele is like. Right after work. I mean, maybe you'd be able to miss any sort of rush. Because my concern would be, I show up to go to the pool, my fat ass shows up to the pool, and then suddenly it's like 5 like Olympic training, like the women's dive team is sitting there like doing their thing, and I'm
right.
The whale in the pool. It's just not going to work out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If I went in and I did a quick 10 to 20 lapper,
right.
That gets your heart pumping a little bit and whatever.
That's a good workout. Yeah.
And I like swimming. So it's like, whenever I go to like a pool, which I haven't gone to in years, because I just don't.
Right.
Like I like to just swim laps and just go and just chill. And I'm looking at waterproof earbuds and stuff like that.
Dang, you're getting serious with this. He's doing the
you.
research.
I told you, dude, my body is just breaking down.
Oh
to the
yeah,
point where,
I'm with
like
you.
I told you, I've had like a migraine for like 2 days now. Like it's like an everlasting headache, and it's like I'm out of shape, and it's just like I feel like a piece of garbage.
Oh yeah,
So
I'm with you. I feel like we say this every episode. I feel like I'm definitely like the heaviest I've ever been. Like it's bad. It's and I have a treadmill like right there. But I've been sick, and then the problem is, it's like when you get sick, you're like I don't want to work out. Like it's hard to breathe, and you're like you just feel like a mess. So it's been like a week since I've hopped on the treadmill. So
here's the thing on the side note.
Yeah,
I wanted to get this off my chest because what really ticked me off today. Okay, and it had something to do with work, but at the same time,
it's like your the old bit we used to do on the show. What grinds your gears?
Yes, what grinds our gears. We don't have that sounder anymore, I don't think. But
I don't think so.
At the same time, it wasn't really a work thing. It was so.
What really grinds my gears?
Here it is.
You know what really grinds my gears? You know what really grinds my gears? You know what really grinds my gears? You, America. And that, people, is what grinds my gears.
There you go. There's your proper intro.
Yeah, there we go. Oh man, that's a throwback. That was a long time ago we had that one. But so what grinds my gears today was elementary schools, high schools, all that kind of stuff, they can set up flu shot clinics.
Right.
So, we just get a flu shot there or whatever at school after work. And then
it's supposed to be easy.
Yeah, we go about our day.
Mm-hmm.
So they send this sign up sheet out like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
3 weeks ago, something like that. It was a long time ago. And it was like, all right, the sign up sheet's for Friday. And it was like, I don't know, September 27th or something like that. All of a sudden they said, oh yeah, it's canceled, but we're rescheduling it for October 23rd.
Today.
So they sent out the sign-up sheet again late last week and said, hey, there are a few spots left for after school. If you want to get it, here's the sign-up sheet again. So right when I got it, I signed me, my co-teacher, and the music teacher up for the first 3 slots, which starts at 3:30. So school ends at 3:05 or whatever. I'm sitting there and I'm kind of hanging out, just waiting for my time. Around 3:26, I start walking up to the lounge. So I get up there, and what do you know? there's 4 or 5 people in there
Oh, no.
that are not the first 3 people signed up, sitting there waiting.
This would get me on tilt.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. First of all, this happened before.
Right.
Now, it happened. I don't think we had a flu shot thing last year, or I couldn't go to it or something. So I don't remember it from last year. But when I go in there and there's 4 people at least that are like, oh, I have a meeting to go to. And I'm like, okay, well, next time sign up for an earlier slot or don't come. Like, go to CVS. I don't care. And I'm not trying to be an ass here.
Sure, but if we're talking, I mean, here's the thing. If everybody got this email about the sign-up sheet, and everybody understands the concept of a sign-up sheet, then you are not the ass in this situation because you followed the rules. You signed up for a slot. If they had a meeting, then they should have signed up for an earlier slot.
It's the principle of it. The principle of it. Seriously. So, like, our principal came in and she signed all of her stuff or sheets or whatever. And she said, I'm going to come back at my time or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then I had somebody else come in and say the same thing, like, oh, I have stuff to do, but I'm going to come back later or whatever. That's fine. Okay.
Right.
So, again, we have like it's like a little team. Me, the PE teachers and the music teachers, kind of a little team. Like when we have signups and stuff like that, we're a part of a specialist team. So we like to sign everything up. So, I saw the email first, so I signed everybody up. So apparently that ruffled feathers in some of the school that I signed everybody up at the same time.
Oh, no.
Because one of the IAs for kindergarten comes in and she says, well, he works directly with the guy that sets all this stuff up. And she looked
as in
at me.
he, as in you.
Yes, she pointed at me. And I said, I don't even believe that he still does this. So he ended up telling me later that he does, but he doesn't handle the sign-up sheets and stuff like that.
Also, what does that have to do with the fact that you signed up first before everybody else?
I don't know, because I guess she figured that he, even though he
you secretly got the list before everybody else or something.
Yeah, like it's like they were all like trying to decipher this like code, like the Da Vinci Code or something like that of when the sign up sheet came out and if I got it in time or all this kind of like. First of all, I was like 6th in line, even though I was the first one signed up.
Right.
First of all, and I didn't get mine until like 20 minutes after when I signed up. Okay. The lady was talking to everybody, having a conversation. I'm like, lady,
oh, that's the worst.
Like, come on now.
Something like that. It's like, look, we're all here to just get these shots and go. Like, nobody's trying to have it. And especially when there's a line, it's like, what are we doing?
Like, and then people came in and like, then, someone not to be named came in.
Yeah. Change their name.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna say their name or the title. And they came in and they were like, So do we just go up when she's ready? And I was like, no, there's a line here, like and I've already had some underlines with this person in the past, and in the recent past, I should say.
Okay.
And I think I told you about.
You're just ruffling feathers in this school, left and right.
And when she said that, all of a sudden, like I was about to blow a fuse. I'm like. And I'm the nice guy and stuff like that. I'm the nice, funny guy, whatever.
He's a funny guy. He walks around, he finger guns everybody. And see it.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Hall, what's going on? Hey, Mrs. Flowers, looking good today. Yeah.
Whoa, those are some nice names there.
Yeah, you're just wandering through the halls. You're Zach Morris.
She comes in and says, like, so did we just go up? Like we were all just sitting there just talking. Like, no, there's a line. Like it's the principle of a sign-up sheet. Right. That gets to me, and that's the issue that I'm having right now.
Because then otherwise, like, what is the point of the sign-up sheet if it was disregarded entirely anyways?
Yeah, because so all of a sudden, that person not to be named comes in and says, like, oh, can I go next? And I was like, no. And I just walked up, and I stood right next to my co-teacher because he was waiting too.
Right.
And I stood right next to him while he was getting the shot, like, uncomfortably. Like, he was like, we were like eye to eye. I mean, I was like literally within.
You're just making sure he's okay.
I was at 2.5 feet of his face. I'm like, I am not moving because, again, the principle of a sign-up sheet is to follow the sign-up sheet because you signed up. Don't go in there and start saying like, oh, well, I have a meeting or I have to, go and do this. So I signed up at 3:50 and I need to get in there first. Like, It's the problem. Okay. Luckily, the music teacher, because she has farther distance to go home, she kind of like, snuck her way in there before all the crowd came in. So she got in there. But then the other two ladies, they looked at me and they're like, "Can we go?" And I was like, "What am I gonna say? F no! Like, get out of my way!
You should
like, I need this shot." It's like, oh my god! And then like I said, the lady that was giving the shots couldn't have been nicer. But she was like talking about baseball to me, and then her kid plays at Colgan, and this and that, and blah 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 blah, and how long have I been coaching, and what's my hours for coaching, and then she's like, then every single time after the shot, you know how they put a Band-Aid on and you're out. Like she was like rubbing everyone's arm and stuff. I'm like, man, it's like a massage in here. It's like, oh, dude, it was just the slowest thing, because I know one of the teachers had like 3:45 and he had at least like 6 more people in front of him.
Oh, this is what would. No, I would have been on tilt. Like, I would have been very pissed, because like there is nothing more annoying when there is like, this is the set system that we're working with, and then people show up and it goes out the window. Like any sort of level of organization gets just thrown out, and it's like, what are we doing here? Can we all not abide to the sign up sheet? Like, can we not do it? Can we not like follow directions? Like, it's crazy how many. And it's funny because it's always, these are adults at a school. These are the teachers teaching the kids, and they can't even follow simple rules. It's unbelievable.
When that person came in and said, like, "Do we just go up there when she's ready?" I was like, no. That's not how it's working. And then everyone started making fun of me because of my age. I mean, like, one of the teachers. Now, I like this teacher in particular, and she looked at me and she was like, 1991, because of my age and my birthday. Yeah. And this other teacher's like, "I graduated college in 1985," and I was like, "Oh, God. Okay." Like, what is that? And then everyone's talking about like, oh well, I was in the Civil War and all these different things, and I'm like, what do you guys like? What do you
this
bashing
to me
for?
This sounds awful. Like, this
it was
sounds
stressful. I was perspirating.
Sounds like you were there because like you went in thinking like, all right, I signed up for this time slot. I'm gonna show up a couple minutes before. I'm gonna get my time slot. I'm gonna get my shot right around that time, and I'm gonna get out, and it's gonna be like a 15-minute, 10-minute process. It's gonna be quick. Sounds like it was not that, and that would majorly put me on tilt.
It was about 2 or 3 years ago. They had it in the cafeteria. And I don't know if there was 1 or 2 people giving the shots, but they were quick. They were like, boom, boom, boom,
as it should be.
But the issue is, I think that they need to give those papers. Like, I had to fill out my address, my name. I
give it to you ahead of time. Yeah,
I'm like, it's like I'm sitting there. Oh, like, all I'm saying, dude, is like I was such on monkey stilts because of the sole fact that everyone's going in there and not acting like they didn't know what was going on. Trying to cut in front of people. Yeah. One person said like, "Oh, I'm subbing in for this person," and I'm like, we're not tag teaming
subbing
here. Like,
this is a flu shot. What are you talking
It's
about?
like, oh my god! Then people are pointing fingers at me saying that I work with the guy that sets it up, and I'm like, what are you talking
they're
about?
Accusing you guys of like this big conspiracy, like collusion that you guys are doing, and it's just crazy. That's
that's the last thing. The worst part is that, again, this is a free flu shot. Okay, most everybody's insurance will cover this at a CVS where you can literally schedule a time that you want, go over and get it done. And I got my COVID shot or whatever, one of my COVID shots, because of course school required you to get them all. Right. I got my very first one at Harris Teeter, which is hilarious. Yeah, and I got it there, and I literally walked in, scheduled a time, walked in, and the guy gave me the booster in literally less than 3 minutes.
Oh yeah, and you could do that at any of those places. Target even does it too. You can go into a Target and get a shot. It's wild.
Target.
That's what I've done. They have their own little clinic there. It's wild.
Yeah.
But no, I am in full agreement with you on this, because like that, there's nothing more annoying when like, hey, here's how everything's going to work. And then somebody shows up late to it and they're like, hey, can I just get in front of you? Can I cut in line? Because like, I got this other thing I got to go do. And it's like, what do you think? We all just don't have other things to do? Like, you think we're all here just to hang out?
I'm not the one that's taking forever to administer the shots.
Right.
But like, it's not me. Like, I've been waiting here. It's like, I know you might have a prior obligation. Go to that obligation.
Yeah.
The flu shot, I know people who never have gotten a flu shot in their life, and they're fine.
Right.
Like, it's fine.
It would all be okay. Oh, that would drive me nuts. Let's get into some football. As much as we don't want to get into some football today, because This was a rough one. I mean, it truly was all around. A weird day in the NFL in general. I know we were talking on text about it, where it was just like, especially for gamblers, it's one of those days where you're just like,
Quit.
I didn't see any of these results happening. You know,
Yep.
like you don't see the Bears beating the Raiders with their backup quarterback. You don't see, I mean, even tonight, like what the Vikings will suddenly like beat the 49ers by 30 or something tonight. Like it's
Right.
that kind of week in the NFL. I mean, the Lions getting punked by Baltimore. Like
New
it
England
was
beating Buffalo.
yeah. It was a pretty insane day.
Cleveland with one of the best defenses so far in the NFL,
Yeah.
and Indianapolis, going out scoring basically 40 each. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was an insane day. And, going into this game, when you look at, all right, Commanders, Giants, I made the mistake of going in thinking, like, oh, yeah, this should be, they're not going to blow them out, but they'll get a dub here. Like, I figured, especially with, when this team has been on, they've been looking really rock solid. So I figured they'd get a dub here. And boy, was this ugly. Was this ugly all around? I mean, yeah, the defense, sure, you can be happy. They only gave up 14 points. I wouldn't necessarily pit this loss on them. Offensively, though, it's like, what is this team doing? And you do have, obviously, the frustrations boiling over in some of the comments. We do have Jonathan Allen after the game with some of his thoughts.
What's the evaluation like after a loss like that?
They whooped our ass, plain and simple. Got to be better.
Anything they did that surprised you guys early on?
No, I want to say so. I think it's just a lack of focus on our part, a lack of attention to detail, not starting fast, and creating holes that are too big for us to overcome in the second half.
Does it get frustrating when that
Fuck
seems?
yes, it does. I'm fucking tired of this shit. Fucking tired of this bullshit. It's been 7 fucking years of the same shit. Tired of this shit.
What can you do now going forward to get it turned around?
Get our minds right and get ready to play fucking Philadelphia.
My man. I
Oh,
love
man.
that dude.
I mean, I get it. I mean, if you're on that defense, you're like, look, guys, like, we're working our butts off here. We only gave up 14 points in this game. We did our job. I mean, in the NFL, even bad teams are going to score some points. I mean, and the Giants are a bad team, and so you give up a couple touchdowns that should be enough to at least give you a win, or your offense has to do better. And so only 7 points in the game for the Commanders, and just with how bad this offense looked. I mean, even on the broadcast, they were talking about some of these, because you had Tiki Barber and Matt Ryan as the analysts on the broadcast, and like
Right.
even they at times were like, why aren't they sending Howell? Because Howell was obviously getting beat up all game long, 6 sacks, under pressure the whole time, and they're like, man, you got to be moving him around in the pocket. And when they did, when they roll him out or things like that, occasionally some good things would happen, or at least some plays would be made. Anytime you just left him in the pocket, he was a dead duck. With this offensive line, just Swiss cheese, just getting absolutely blown up play after play after play. I mean, how many throwaways did Sam Howell have to do yesterday? Like, I mean, the ball, he had to throw the ball away probably more than he ever threw the ball in play at all. Like it was thrown to the sideline constantly. And yeah, this was ugly.
So going to that point it's funny because you think about one of the throwaways that almost ended in a pick six, that probably should have ended in a pick six with Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yeah,
where-
we're completely, yeah.
Yeah, but the problem was though is that I believe he got hit when he threw it, but he was in the end zone, so he had to throw it away.
Yeah.
So it's not like someone says like, "Oh, just take the sack there" or something like that. The problem is yes, another 6 sacks, and apparently he's right now. I think I heard he's on pace to get 20 more sacks than any other quarterback in NFL history in a season.
I'm not surprised.
20 sacks more.
Yeah.
And that, so it's like you need to have a couple clean sheets just to get that average down now to the point where I think, and again, you've heard it before from me that I did not want Emmanuel Forbes. I wanted an offensive tackle. I wanted an offensive guard. I wanted someone to anchor down the offensive line. Last year, we said the exact same thing. The only thing about, Brian Robinson was doing well and the running game was doing well. Sure, we were doing all right last year in spurts, with the running game and whatnot. But run blocking is completely different than pass blocking.
Yeah.
So when you're seeing pass blocking, run blocking, you know the zone you're going into. Okay, we're blocking to the left, we're blocking to the right. We're pulling the left guard or whatever it may be. But the problem is with pass blocking, you have an assignment and you're not moving that much. You're not pulling or you're not sliding to the left or whatever. Yes, you got protections, but the problem that I'm seeing is that they're just, some of these guys are being left on an island with someone, that is way superior to their talent level. Like Nick Gates was getting, and the funny thing is they say Nick Gates has like this big attitude towards him and stuff like that. You can have the biggest attitude you want, but if you suck, you suck.
Yeah.
Like that's just how it is. I mean, he was getting blown up left and right. And it's like, what are we doing out here at this point? I mean, I just don't understand how they're going to, they haven't figured. I mean, I don't understand why you don't just say screw it. If that's not helping us, we're gonna go out there and we're gonna find a Mike Tolbert or somebody like that can come out here and just pick up blocks. Like get somebody in the backfield, do a 2 running back set, have one guy just there to block everybody, whoever is going to run free, and then give Sam Howell some type of time, because if you're going to set a record in sacks allowed, that's an issue. And that's a huge issue. And everyone's been talking about that ever since week 1. And that's the issue that I'm having right now, is seeing this team not be able to adjust because of the sole fact that Eric Bieniemy didn't have this problem. He didn't have this problem in Kansas City where you had Tyreek Hill at times, and obviously he's gone, but then you still had the best tight end in the league, if not one of the top 3 ever to play the game, in Travis Kelce. Plus, you have one of the best ever quarterbacks, probably you can say that title at this point in time, with Patrick Mahomes. You didn't have those situations. Now he is thrown and thrusted into this situation where he has no offensive line. He doesn't have a wide receiver that can run a 4.21 40 or whatever it is that Tyreek Hill can run. He doesn't have the possession type of receiver, tight end mix that Travis Kelce is, and he doesn't have a gunslinger who can throw it like a submarine pitcher, like Patrick Mahomes. It's different, and it's tough. Like people are saying, like, well, we love Eric Bieniemy, but then all of a sudden, he gets a pass here and there, which I get that, but the problem with Eric Bieniemy right now is he's adjusting, just like Sam Howell is. Sam Howell's adjusting to the NFL game because he's finally getting his chance, and Eric Bieniemy is in a new situation where he doesn't have, Andy Reid and all these weapons and a great system and a great head coach and all this kind of stuff. When you're under Ron Rivera, who is, I mean, he's like a jellyfish. Ron Rivera is like a jellyfish just sitting there, like just bobbing, just going down with the flow of the ocean.
He got fired up yesterday, remember? He was yelling at it on the sideline.
Yeah, you saw my text that I said, oh, he's alive. I mean, I mean, and it's like, the funny thing about it is I need to go back and look at the stats and find out what our 4th down attempts are. Because right now, we seem like we don't go for hardly anything.
Nothing.
So you see, the Eagles, oh, here they come again. Here they go. There they go again. It's like, the problem that I'm seeing is that, again, I had a huge issue with this yesterday too. I don't understand why we didn't go for the 4th down in the red zone, and it was 4th and 6 or something like that, a 4th and goal from the 6 or something like that. I forgot exactly what it was. And we didn't go for it there, yet we wanted to kick a field goal to make it 10-14 in the 4th quarter, which we still would have had to score a touchdown. It makes no sense. You don't get it there. Now, I'm not talking about the field goal. You don't get the 4th down. They're pinned inside the 20. And again, like you mentioned earlier, the defense isn't to blame here. I mean, when you had one bad quarter or whatever, one drive was pretty ugly, but then and pretty much everything else was rock solid. I mean, you held an NFL team, no matter how bad they are or how much they suck or whatever, to 14 points and 3 scoreless quarters. So you think about it that way. The offense has got to pick you up somewhere. And Ron's got to say, man, my ass is so much on fire because I'm in the hot seat. I need to go for whatever I can. Okay, first of all, he should be fired. That's number 1. Number 2, I said it last year that he should be fired. Number 2, I don't understand why he's playing it safe. Like, oh, let's take the points here. Like, everyone's been I mean, literally been obliterated the Giants, except for the Bills. Everyone's been obliterating them. But we can't even score double digits? I mean, that's just pathetic. And that's
Yeah.
the problem is, I said it before, Tyrod Taylor is a better quarterback than Daniel Jones. Sorry, that's just my truth. And yes, I am a little biased because I'm a tech guy, but you look at it, he went 280 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 sacks, okay, but he also had 25 rushing yards. It's like Daniel Jones would kill for that stat line this year.
Right.
And it's like, you think about it, yes, he only had 14 points, but the thing about it is we stopped them enough to go out there and score some points. But again, we're trying to kick field goals, with short field. It's like,
it's just so boring. This team is so
exactly.
boring.
Thank you.
This offense is so boring. Bieniemy, all right, first down, guess what? We're going to run the football. We're going to get 2 yards on the ground every single time on first down. Like, that's all we're going to do. And then on second down, we're probably going to run the football again. Then we're going to get stuffed and push back. And then now suddenly Sam Howell's throwing it on 3rd and 8, and we can't get any separation. And so, all right, there goes our drive. And it's so formulaic. It's so boring. It felt like they ran the ball first down every time. It felt like the passing plays, there was really nothing that exciting going on. I mean, yeah, occasionally you got guys to the outside and they, try to make a catch along the sideline or something along those lines. It was just like there's just no creativity in the play calling. Right. There's no creativity in the offense. I mean, are we really trying to rely on a duo of Brian Robinson and Chris Rodriguez as like the guys that are going to get the offense jump started? It's not going to work. And especially when you got Andrew Wiley and Nick Gates just swinging fence. I mean, they're swinging fence, letting the defense get back there. Because look, like
the garage doors,
as you said, like the Giants have some guys. I mean, they have some ballers. I mean, they got Thibodeau and some of the other guys on the team that were able to, Dexter Lawrence had a couple sacks in the game.
Right,
right. They got some studs, but at the same time, I mean, this is just embarrassing. This team now, so Derek Carr, 2002 record, 76 sacks in one season. Howell's now at 40 through 7 games. So we got 10 games to go. This may get. I mean, he may set the record. I mean, he. I would be shocked if he didn't. But all we're asking for, all I want to see is just Look, if you don't have the horses, then you got to get creative. If again, like, even though it's funny, you kind of do have the horses. I mean, you got one of the best wide receivers in the league in Terry McLaurin, who he did have a pretty good game, 90 yards, obviously no touchdowns, but he played pretty well. Dodson. You got to have that catch there in that situation. I mean, and Scary Terry had a drop too early in the game that he really should have hauled in also, where the contact didn't even really come till after he should have secured the catch anyways. But yes, the Dotson drop was awful. The offense just seems so lifeless. It seems like Howell, who has he's just like running for his life, every play. Howell was giving his all, and I don't put that loss. Sure, were there maybe a couple decisions where you're kind of wondering what's going on? Yeah, but for the most part, I can't really blame the guy because he's getting Dexter Lawrence in his face every single play. He can't trust his offensive line. Obviously, he'll never say that he can't trust him. I know he took some of the blame for the loss, I think, and it's like, no, dude, you're getting chased out of the pocket every play. You're running for your life, and then like there's no creative play calling where none of these guys are really getting open. So, right. Screw this, man. I mean, and Rivera it baffles me, the decision making that he has. I mean, even at the end of the half where it was like, all right, you could have had if you had used some timeouts here, you could have had the ball with, 40 seconds or so. And yeah, it's like, all right, is there really, are the odds that you're going to be able to maybe get some points? It's pretty low odds, but you at least give yourself a chance to try and score. And that's another one where the analysts on the broadcast were also like, I'm not sure why Rivera's not using a timeout here, and that's just never a good look. And right now, according to StatMuse, the Commanders have only gone for it on 4th down 9 times this season.
I got the stats on it right here. So going along with what you're saying, the 4th downs. Okay, I'm going to read off to you obviously some of the teams which I know you have in front of you as well. So right now, the Commanders have 9 4th downs. Now, again, you have to think about it this way. They've played 7 games. All right. Maybe, I would say they should average 1.5 per game,
Right.
for instance. Okay. So you do 1.5 right there. That's about 10 to 12. So they're kind of on that mark. So I will give it to them. Okay. For that reason. But you have to also look into, for instance, the Bears game. Now, I don't know how many they went in the Bears game, but they were down by so damn much to the point where you have to look at that game and the Bills game because those two games, I believe, probably had like 6 or 7 fourth downs they had to go for combined because they were down by so much. The first team is your Lions. They've gone for 16.
Yeah, they go for it all the time.
What's their record? 5-2.
Yeah.
They're 5-2, and they go for it 16 times. Now their percentage is 43.8, but you have to think about it. They're probably going for a 4th and 3 or something.
And these are usually pretty big fourth downs as well. Like, and they're like impactful, keeping the drive alive that end in points sort of deal. So yeah,
the Colts, they suck, and the Giants, they suck. So you think about it right there. You kind of negate them because they've probably been down by so much. But you're looking at the best teams on this list that have double digits. You're looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think they're a really good team for the most part, and they have 11. You're looking at the Chargers. I think they're a really good team despite their record right now. They have 11. You're also looking at the Eagles. They have 14. Again, like I said, the Lions, they have 16. These teams that, put their balls on the table and go for it on these situations have pretty good records or have the talent to go out there and make the first down.
Yeah.
The difference is again, you have to go back and look at the Bills and the Bears games to see those fourth downs. And I don't have the stat in front of me just yet, but at the same time, you're looking at it and saying, this is a situation where, again, look at the decision making like you mentioned. Okay, go back to the first touchdown that the Giants scored. We stopped them on like the 3-yard line or the 4-yard line or whatever it was to make a fourth down. So instead of saying, hey, they're going to make a decision to kick a field goal or go for it, we ended up giving them a 10-yard penalty, replay the down, and we gave them, what was it, a 3rd and 15 from the 15-yard line.
Right.
The next pass, Tyrod throws a dime to Darren Waller for a touch. It's like,
yeah,
what are we doing?
That was bad. That was bad. No, I remember specifically.
How many times have you seen that, though?
Scratching my head on that.
Like,
yeah.
How many times have you seen that where the coach says, yeah, we're going to back him up. And then all of a sudden they're like, all right, we'll just throw a post pattern or something like that. And then
especially when you look at the personnel on the other team. I mean, you look at an athletic big guy like Darren Waller, who's the type of guy that you're going to go to in that situation 9 times out of 10. And if you don't go to him, the defense is thinking they're going to him, and you're going to go send it to somewhere else. So, like, you don't give teams multiple chances in the NFL. The more chances you give these teams, even bad teams, even the bad teams have a couple studs in the NFL, or those go-to guys where you're like, all right, we're definitely going to him in this situation. And that's what Waller is built for. That's what these big tight ends are built for, is that type of scenario. And so, yeah, it's just so frustrating. And it's just like, I get it, Jonathan Allen. I mean, the fans get it, of course. The fans have been dealing with forever of just incompetent coaching. Riverboat Ron, who never actually gambles with anything, it seemingly. He barely gets mad. Yeah, okay, he got fired up on one play this year, and he was telling the refs, like, this is the two years in a row you screwed us, because he's talking about the no call from last year against the Giants where it should have been pass interference in the end zone. And it's just like, all right, so that's what you're so focused on, Ron? Like, you're focused on, I mean, like, there's so many other issues going on with this team. The fact that the offense is putting up one touchdown in a game, and you're just still screaming at the refs for like 25 minutes about this. It's just like, it's just crazy. It's just crazy.
Well, here's the last thing I'll say is I'm a little ticked off with certain people on social media that when the John Allen clip came out, obviously a lot of media outlets picked it up. And obviously there was, words said, as you heard earlier. But some people were like, well, you didn't do anything in the game. You only had like 4 tackles or something. It's like, first of all, the guy's a first-round pick. Secondly, he actually has been an Iron Man for us for the most part. He hasn't missed that much time, okay? The guy came out of college, was supposed to be a top 5 to 10 pick, but everyone passed on him because of the sole fact that he had like a shoulder or something of that nature that everyone was scared about. The guy's a model character guy. He also is a really nice person in person, because I've talked to him before back when he was in high school, where you think that a guy that's that dominant, which, by the way, our buddy Dan in our text thread has actually played against John Allen. I don't know if you heard about that.
Right.
He played against him once, and he said the guy was just a monster for the sole fact that you think if a guy's that good in high school and is kicking everyone's ass, you would think that, he should be a D-bag and, tries to showboat. That guy couldn't have been a nicer guy. He's a nice guy on and off the field. He's laying his life on the line all the time, going out there for us, even when we suck. And it's like, for people to sit there and say, well, you're not doing anything, that's just them lashing out because of the sole fact that the guy's a defensive tackle. Okay, he's not, Dwight Freeney. He's not an edge guy. So you think about it and say, these people want him to go out there and get 2 sacks a game. He's not a pass rusher like that.
That's not really what his
job is. He's not Ndamukong Suh. Like it's like the problem is that people think that John Allen should be doing so much more sometimes. And again, this is a very, very small minority. But it kind of ticked me off when I saw a few different comments saying like, you're not doing this much and blah blah blah. Like it's like. What are those people saying when Chase Young wasn't doing crap for the last 2 years, basically? Yes, he had a pretty good game yesterday, but at the same time, you're thinking about John Allen's the only one speaking up. And I believe when he spoke up, he was talking to the coaches. Now, obviously, some of that probably was directed a little bit towards the players because some guys are missing assignments and different things of that nature. But when it comes down to coaching, okay, you can't go out there and expect the players, and expect to go by that mantra. Well, they have to execute. Like it's not all about just the players executing because your scheme might suck. I mean, let's be honest here. The offensive line blows, for multiple weeks. The defensive, output was atrocious. And you're looking there and saying he's trying to, work his ass off here. And again, I'm not trying to say he's, the bee's knees every single week. He has off games too. But the problem is this coaching staff needs a shakeup, okay? Yeah. Because honestly, if you put Bieniemy, and again, I'm gonna die on this hill for this year. If you put Bieniemy in charge and give him that chance, okay, I think he's gonna fire up this team. I think they're gonna go out there and surprise a few different teams. Maybe go out there and win a game they're not supposed to here or there. Okay, again, we only have 11 games left or whatever it is. So why not shake it up a little bit? Again, like we said last week, who cares who calls the plays for defense, or who cares who calls the plays, or just slides into the offensive coordinator because Bieniemy's going to be calling the plays anyways. It just makes no sense because again, we sit here and we're turning our wheels and we're reclining our chairs, watching Ron Rivera go out there every single week and watching Jack Del Rio go out there every single week and this and that and this and that. It's like it's just a carousel. We're going around and around and around, and the operator Joe Dirt is just not stopping this carousel. I just don't get it, man. I will never get it until they actually make a move for once.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. And again, these season predictions of 7-10 and 9-8 from us. We'll see where this team ends up. Hey, you never know; they could get hot, but I'm definitely thinking it's going to end up probably being closer to the 7-10.
By the way,
scenario.
I don't think I told you this. Okay, I'm going to bring these up real quick. Actually, I think one of them I'll bring up. So, obviously, my season-long sweat with the win total and USC winning the national title.
Nice Falcons win yesterday helps us out a little bit.
Oh, my gosh, dude. Dude, I've been keeping track of that. We're actually in really good standing now because that gives them the first part of that tiebreaker. So, I have some – I think I might have told you this. So, I have some futures, okay? So, my first one is I got the Lions – winning the NFC.
Nice.
Plus 550. Tulane winning the AAC championship game. Air Force winning the Mountain West championship game. Washington winning the Pac-12 championship. And the total it's a $5 bet to win $365. So the Lions at plus 550, I got them. But they are probably plus 750 now.
Right.
But I ended up switching, and I did the Commanders again. I did Washington to win the national title and the Commanders to go over 7.5, which is not looking good now. $5 to win 100. So I got some more some overzealous ones that I tried to put in there for season because I love the season long sweats, but I had to go with your Lions because I have faith.
I like it. I mean, I have faith too. I think the Lions will win the division. They will win the division. I think that division is just so bad that even a letdown for a game or two. It's not going to cost him too much. But before we wrap the show, let's hit up a little bit of Survivor action.
Yeah, a little bit.
We won't spend too much time on it, but we do have to talk about. And again, if you're not into Survivor, feel free to skip ahead. If you are into Survivor, then settle in. But yeah, big episode. We haven't done the show for a couple weeks, so we had a pretty darn amazing episode.
I talked about it by myself last week.
In the second, for the second one, so we won't spend too much time on that one. But yeah, that one was great. You gotta love when things are a little bit crazy at Tribal, where you got mind games being played, blind sides, like that is.
Hey, get this real quick.
Yeah.
I don't want to interrupt you, but I went on YouTube last week because you have the sounder.
Yeah.
And I got the intro to every single season on a loop.
Oh.
So, and they're all different ones. Like,
right. They're probably little changes. Yeah.
It's 45 intros, and I just left it playing.
That's awesome.
That was great. All right, sorry.
No.
About that.
But so yeah, pretty awesome episode. Where unfortunately for you though, Sabaya gets voted off. Blindside gone.
Yeah.
She gone. Which is, and she was a pretty competitive player. Like had an idol. Like things were looking like she was going to be a decent player in this game. And yeah, that's the beauty of Survivor is when you think that you're in a great spot, next thing you know, you're going to be gone. So you have to. That's why you have to always have a little bit of paranoia about it. And my guy Caleb is the puppet master right now.
Dude, this guy is nuts, man.
He's unbelievable. He is.
Dude, he looked like Ray Allen.
He's like one of the most athletic guys in the game. He's making friends and alliances with like everybody.
Yeah.
Super charismatic. He's dropping NBA references all the time on the show. It's like this guy is. I'm very confident in Caleb. Now the problem is though, you worry sometimes if a guy's getting this much attention in the show and everybody kind of realizes like this guy's awesome. You kind of worry if he's going to get voted off sometime soon. So we'll see. I mean, he almost got voted off in the week that Sabaya got to stay. Yeah. So or when Sabaya got voted off. So we'll see what happens there. As far as the rest of our guys that are still in live, Austin's in good shape here. He's got multiple idols and advantages and all this sort of stuff. So he's looking good. Brando, we didn't really see much from him in the past episode, but he's still in the game. Kendra, kind of the same deal. Like she's around, she's there, but not really making a big impact. And then Sifu almost got voted out. If not,
that was a surprise.
If not for Sean, I believe his name is Sean, quitting. Yeah. So for the Survivor fans here, we've got 2 quits in the first 4 episodes, right? So it's like we're 50% 50% quit rate right now, which is
50% quit rate,
which is awful. Because looking back, I was watching season 2 or 3 recently, and there was a quit, and it was like, oh yeah, that happens. It's pretty rare. Every now and then somebody will be, but usually when the quits happen, it's usually we're 12, 13, 14 days in, and somebody's like, I just can't take it anymore. I'm exhausted, that sort of thing. And you're like, all right, well, you gave it a shot. You've been around 2 weeks. A lot of these guys, they only been in the game. Well, the first quit obviously was awful. She'd been there for 2 days. And then this quit, you were there 8 or 9 days. And the whole thing was also, and this other podcast I listened to about Survivor made a great point is he quit because he's like, I miss my husband. You don't even get to go home after this. Like once you leave the show, because nobody else can know what happens, you have to go sit in the hotel for days.
For 2 weeks.
For another couple weeks. So you quit the show for your husband. You're not going to see your husband for weeks. So why are you quitting the show? It's idiotic.
Yeah.
It was so stupid.
Well, I already told you that I was tilted with him in the first episode when he was telling everyone, "Oh, I love you so much. I love you so much."
Yeah. Dude, super fake, and
it's like, and then you know what really tilted me was that awkward moment when he kind of stopped talking and he sat there and everyone's putting their arm on him and he was like this.
Yeah,
look, it was really awkward for 10 seconds where he had I don't know that frog meme with the cartoon frog with a big lips. So he was sitting there like that, and he was. It's like. You're a loser. I'm sorry. You're a loser.
He is.
Get out.
He is.
The problem is that there are so many people that want to play Big Brother. They want to do Amazing Race. They want to do. It's like, oh, you know what? this is not my dream anymore. It's like it's not. What do you mean it's not your dream anymore? Because that's a cowardly way to go out because of the sole fact that you have to look at it this way. You were easily going to get voted out. Now, who knows what that Jane lady or whatever, the lady who voted Sifu, it kept trying to avoid him.
They were trying to.
He kept looking at her.
I know they were trying to get out. There was a plan to get out Sifu, but there was also a plan to get out Sean. So it was hard to see like where the votes were all going to fall.
But it's like I told you, that guy he's just like a phony. He's a loser. Like I think they picked these losers because they want them to get out in this situation and tell everyone how of a life-changing experience it is or something like that. Like it's like a plant or something. Like they're like planting somebody in there because they know they're not going to win.
Right.
Like their odds are astronomical, and they put them in these situations where it's like this team sucks. Caleb and Sabaya were great players, and all of a sudden their team just got pwned every single week because you got these two losers over here that this guy can't climb a ladder, and this other guy, I don't even know where Sean was in the challenge. Like,
yeah,
I mean, he was like underwater.
And he weighs clearly like 90 pounds or whatever.
Did you see him trying to lift that cage?
Yeah.
He was like this, and like his arms weren't even
that
touching
new team now, it's like all Sifu. Like he's the only guy that has any muscle mass on him at all. It's so they did do the big tribe swap, so now we move some guys around and like in theory to like maybe try and even it out again. But then it's like now that team, they just tried to get out their biggest guy in Sifu, where it's like if you had voted Sifu out and Sean had stayed, what the hell would you guys be doing for these next couple challenges? If there's anything about lifting anything, you're done. Because all these other tribes have like, big dudes on it, and you're just a bunch of skinny guys with Sean and like, some of the women and the women on that team are all pretty small too. Yeah. It's not even like you've got like, burly, strong women. So it's like,
you don't got rugby players.
Yeah,
it's
exactly. It was like going back to what you were saying. It's like, it sucks. I hate seeing people quit because it's like it's one thing to be like medically evacuated out of the game, and like that's like one of those things where it's like if the doctor pulls you, there's nothing you could do. You gave it your all. But the people that are just like, I'm good, I've been here a week, I'm ready to go home. It's like, what the hell? You know how long it takes to even get on the show?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about not only the applications, but you go through multiple interviews with producers, and then eventually even Jeff Probst talks to you on a Zoom for an hour or whatever and gets to know you and kind of feels it out. And you have to go through that process. Then you have to go through a training process where they make sure like, hey, this guy's not going to die day one. Like they try to get you prepped for it. And then you go out on the island. They usually like send you there like a week before it starts, and you're on Ponderosa, and like you're getting prepped and you're ready and all this sort of stuff. And like it's just there's so many steps leading into this. For somebody to quit on like day 9 or whatever he did, I think it was like 9 or 10. Yeah. It's like that is one of the most embarrassing things you can do in your life, and he should be embarrassed. And like honestly, he may regret it for the rest of his life, because it's like not only the money part, but just like the fact that you quit. It's one thing to lose. You get voted out. Right. That's the game. But to quit, it's just idiotic.
Oh, please write my name down. You are a loser. I'm sorry. You're a loser, okay? I don't care. I mean, if you get blindsided, sweet, okay? You got blindsided. This is how it is. But don't sit there and say, I beg you guys to please write my name down on that.
Oh,
and
that's
when
he
he
said,
said,
the worst ways
oh,
to quit.
dude, when he said parchment, it really tilted me, because I'm like, all right, dude, like on the parchment paper, like what are we in? A Jack Sparrow movie? Like it's like
it's the worst. He's the worst.
Oh, it's what a loser.
But hopefully that's the last quit we'll have, because it seems like everybody else in the game wants to be there. That's my impression. There seems to be some players left. So again, Mike has Austin and Brando still in the game. I have my 3, Caleb, Kendra, and Sifu, all still in the game. But Sifu barely hanging in there, especially after what happened last vote. We'll see if he's able to stay on. We'll do Moneyline, then we will knock out the Daily Dozen, because I don't want to forget Moneyline. I think last time we were like almost forgot. So we'll do Moneyline first. Okay. So the Moneyline, sponsored by DraftKings. Picks of the week. Yeah, I mean, last week was rough for both of us.
What, 0-4?
Yeah, we stunk last week, but we'll hopefully be back in action for this week. I'm 5-5, Mike's 4-6, but yeah, we both sucked last week. My dog, I'm going Rams +6 against the Cowboys. I kind of like that line. Cowboys have been iffy for sure. It's not like the Rams have been amazing. They've been in games. I like them at least covering the 6. I like that spread. So I don't know if the Rams are going to beat the Cowboys, but I like them keeping it somewhere in that neighborhood. So I'm picking them as the dog there. My lock, unfortunately, I'm going Eagles -6.5 against Commanders. I think I know this game, the Commanders almost beat them last time. Like I know it was close and all that sort of stuff, but I don't know, man. I just think this team is spiraling a little bit. And the Eagles picked up a really nice win against the Dolphins, one of the best teams in the NFL. They're riding high. They got a division game coming up here. I like the Eagles in this one. And this is the Thursday night game, or is this on Sunday? I can't remember.
The Eagles Commanders game is Sunday 1:00.
Okay, it's Sunday. Okay,
yeah. So I like how you went the dog first, and then your lock. Switch it up a little bit. Obviously, we said earlier in the show that this past week was just nuts for football because there was all these unexpected things, and that's why we got demolished in bets. Yeah. So my dog, I'm going to start with, and by the way, I'm going to preface this saying I don't like any of the spreads right now. To be honest with you, I didn't like any of them except for my lock. But my dog, I'm going to go Pittsburgh +2.5 versus Jacksonville.
Okay,
Deontay Johnson,
nice win for the Steelers this past weekend.
Yeah, and they beat the Rams and whatnot. But
by the way, humble brag.
Oh, okay.
I may have mentioned this in our text. So I was in bye week hell in fantasy this week. I had 4 guys on bye week, so I had to make some moves. And in the running back position, your boy picks up Najee Harris. Doesn't have a touchdown all year. He's kind of stunk all year. And the guy gave me 14, 15 points in fantasy and scored a TD. That's why they pay me the big bucks to be the GM of this fantasy team.
Hey, you know what?
Brilliant.
They should hire you in real life.
Yeah. They should.
So again, Steelers +2.5. I would like to put that at 3.5, at a point, and just probably go -150 or something like that. But we'll take the +2.5 because these picks don't matter. It's like whose line is it anyway? So the lock Falcons -1 at the Titans. The Titans, as of right now, seem like they're going to either start Will Levis or Malik Willis.
Right.
And the best part about it is Malik Willis, if he was starting for an entire season, he might let up 250 sacks. That guy literally played 2 drives or whatever in that one game a couple weeks ago and let up 5 sacks.
Yeah.
And it's all right, this is pathetic. So that's what my picks are. My dog, Steelers +2.5 versus Jacksonville, which I would like to add a point there, but that's not what the spread is right now. And the lock, Falcons -1 at the Titans.
All right, we will now head into the Daily Dozen trivia, if I can find the right music. I can't remember if it's this one. Is this our daily? Is this our daily?
Sure. Honestly, it's anything that doesn't get
No,
copyrighted.
it's this one. There it is. Daily Dozen trivia time. I'm gonna get the screen sharing going as Mike did for you guys last week. Does this look good? All right. All right, we're going to hit up the Daily Dozen trivia. So we'll just start from top left here. NFL. Hakeem Nicks posted back-to-back seasons with over 1,000 yards receiving for what NFC team in 2010 and 2011?
That would be the New York Giants.
New York Giants. Ding! MLB.
Speaking of the Giants.
After an all-star career in Boston, Mo Vaughn signed a 6-year. This is the Angels. I know Mo Vaughn Angels because I feel like was he on the Angels in Backyard Baseball?
I think he was. No,
I don't know.
He might have the old logo. Yeah,
but I definitely remember him on the Angels. NHL, you're gonna have to take this one because I don't.
All right.
Making the 2010s All-Decade Second Team, this goaltender spent his entire NHL career with the Rangers from 2005 through 2020. Won the Vezina Trophy in 2012.
That should be Henrik Lundqvist.
Oh, okay. Then I probably should have known that. Okay, 3 for 3. Geography. What is the state capital of Connecticut? Okay.
It's not Bristol.
I have these memorized. Because I from a couple of years ago. Just give me a second. You're right. It's not Bristol. It's not. It's not
Hartford?
It is Hartford. That's it. 100%. 100%.
Man, I am so smooth.
That's a good pull. That's a good pull.
Thanks.
Celebrity mashup. Oh, all right. Well, inside's definitely Billy Joel. That's my guy, Billy Joel. All right.
Look at this can. Whoa.
Hold on.
Look at those cans.
Yeah. Whose cans are those? are they? This is awkward, but I'm looking also at the hair too, because like, so we're talking about like really blonde hair.
It's not
She
Anna
doesn't
Faris, is it?
No, no, she doesn't have those. I'm thinking like Pamela Anderson's an option.
Yeah, who would wear that low cut?
And then the only other one, just because of like, I know it sounds weird, but because of this like platinum blonde, was Jessica Simpson have these? I don't know for sure. I mean, I feel like it's I feel like it's one of those two. It's either Jessica Simpson or Pamela Anderson.
I think,
but Pamela might be bigger.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let's just.
I think it's Jessica Simpson.
Okay. There we go. All right. Chicken selects. Oh yeah, dude, I was all over the chickens. I mean, all I needed to see was chicken select, so I know the answer there.
Didn't even read it.
Oh
boy.
MTV reality show features a fan favorite moment in the second season where character references named J420, Joey Yanks, and Bill. So funny enough, I'm rewatching this show.
Okay.
It is Jersey Shore. I because this is JWoww's like friends. She's like talking about like they're going to be going to the club, and it's like, who else is going to be there? It's going to be like, oh, J420 is going to be there, Joey Yanks, Bill. Like this is Jersey Shore. Trashy TV, but man, I love it.
Touche.
Movies.
I remember watching Jersey Shore literally in my college dorm room. Like everyone had to watch it.
And the year that they went to Italy was like insane, where Mike smashes his head against the wall and like he's in like a neck brace and he's like crying by himself. Oh, it's the best. Based on a novel, Benjamin Walker played a fictionalized version of a U.S. president who's faced on Mount Rushmore as he fights mythical creatures in this 2012 action horror
Lincoln, right?
film. This is that Lincoln vampire guy one. So let's Abraham Lincoln vampire on there. Okay. All right. I mean, we're crushing this. This is right up Mike's alley here.
Yes.
2001 Nickelback song, Never Made It as a Wise Man, Couldn't Cut It as a Poor Man Stealing.
You're not going to finish it?
Tired of living like a blind man. It's that one. It's like,
how you remind me.
This is how you remind me of what I really am. How you remind me. Look at that.
Is that really? Ooh, those celebrity
11%.
No one really knows.
No one knew the cans.
MLB.
I'm surprised about MLB. I mean, Mo Vaughn Angels. I feel like it's pretty obvious. And then I probably wouldn't have known the TV if I hadn't been watching Jersey Shore recently. I would have been, but then again, you think like MTV show, you kind of like, I mean, Jersey Shore is always going to be a good option there. But that's interesting. And then, only 60% knew Lundqvist.
Kind of shocked because all those are like yellow. You know, usually you see at least one, maybe even two that are green that are like, you know, what is a candy bar that's blue and it has the word crunch in it.
Yeah, the two highest are 75%, and that's geography and NFL. So Hartford and Hakeem Nicks on the Giants. So, all right. Well, I mean, let's mark that down. We
write it down.
9 out of 9. I mean,
honestly, I'm hoping they have another celebrity mashup like that because I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was a good sight to see on that celebrity mashup. Great choices there. On
two unbelievable choices.
Yeah, two unbelievable choices. Play along at home, dailydozentrivia.com. Not a sponsor of the show, but you can go play it.
That'd be awesome if it was.
Yeah, well, we'll reach out because, I mean, apparently we're the greatest ever to play this game. Well, I'm dying. That about does it on today's episode. We'll be... who do the Commanders have this? Oh yeah, Commanders Eagles, obviously. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Definitely, we'll have a lot to talk about. And then also, next episode will be able. And I know again, DC crossover. We jump around to different sports. I mean, the Caps have been god awful to start the year, so there's really not a whole lot of fun things to talk about with them. But we may touch on them at some point, maybe like 10 games in. We'll kind of like talk about where they're at. Wizards kick off this week as well. That will be. We'll probably touch on some of that. I mean, with the Wizards, obviously with this roster, just a bunch of different guys now, and we'll see what happens. I mean, that Bilal Coulibaly has looked pretty good in the preseason. Jordan Poole's going to put up a bunch of numbers. Kuzma's going to put up some numbers. So hopefully this team's at least entertaining to watch. And if they're not, that just means cheap tickets, and and go to the game. Like I'll probably look at I think the Pistons come play the Wizards in March usually. They usually do it right around like MLK Day in February, I guess that is. But
hey, I went to my first Wizards game last year, and I actually enjoyed it.
I mean, it's a good time. I mean, yeah, I'm with you. Like, and I'm gonna go see Caps Red Wings next year too. But
I should preface that saying first in like a decade.
Right. So, but yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, I think the Wizards it's always going to be a great time. And I was at M&T Bank this weekend, and I've been there, and I've been to FedEx, and yeah, there are definitely some differences between the two stadiums.
Yes,
one is a heck of a lot nicer than the other. And it's funny we were walking from the garage to the stadium. We're walking through some of these neighborhoods that are like super nice. And, like you always think of Baltimore as like, there's just and there are some bad neighborhoods for sure, but there's some of these neighborhoods you're walking through. And you're just like, this is. Now, I'm not saying I would live there, but it's still.
I'm trying to think of the ones you're talking about.
I mean,
did you guys tailgate?
We were parked on. No, we parked in a garage. We were on Lee Street, and then you just walk. I don't know,
because my buddy's house was on Patapsco Street, which is probably like, I don't know, less than 10 blocks from Camden and all,
right.
And all that stuff.
So we were maybe a little bit closer than that, but
was not a nice house.
Right. So this neighborhood was pretty nice. And anyways, and the stadium was awesome. But yeah, hopefully FedEx. We just need to get a new stadium. I mean, that's what this team needs.
At some point,
it'll never happen. All right, let's go watch some Monday Night Football. Go
put in the sweats.
Go Brock Purdy. Give me some points. Oh, let me. Of course, our boy needs to play us out here.
Yeah, he got a big win this past week.
He did, and they did it with again
some guy no one's ever heard of.
No one's ever heard of, and suddenly this guy is better than the guy they freaking drafted. Like that's supposed to be the savior of their franchise. But now the Bears are starting to do good. It's like. Go get Caleb. You're supposed to get Caleb Williams. That's what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be tanking for Caleb Williams. What are you doing?
If they tank, they get like 2 of the top 3 picks.
Yeah, not gonna be good. Now Commanders might as well tank for Caleb. Topic for another time. We'll see you next time. This has been another episode of the DC Crossover.